Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thanks everyone for being here with us today. Yeah, we can start. Elio, please. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Fernando. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here with us again. For those who was with us this week, we are on the fourth day of our bootcamp week, and you know that CCBC is an important organization here in Brazil for promote the commerce between Canada and Brazil. So among initiatives of CCBC, we have our tech committee that myself and Marcelo, who is also here in this meeting, coordinate jointly with Fernando. So for everybody who doesn't know in details, would be a pleasure to have you in our committee. Obviously, you might search for CCBC and become a members, but we have a lot of initiatives during the years, and this is one of them. Before we move to our content today, I'd like also to thank you for our supporters to this event, who are ABS, Associação Brasileira de Empresas de Software, PIT São José dos Campos, o Parque de Inovação e Tecnologia de São José dos Campos, o IPT, o Instituto de Pesquisas Tecnológicas do Estado de São Paulo, a Universidade Fivale e o Fivale Tech Park, e também o Sebrae para startups. Without the supporters, it would not be possible to be here today. And after these initial remarks, I'd also like to thank you, Louis-Pierre Charest, Director of Centec. It would be a pleasure to have you here today and share a lot of insights with our Brazilian startups. So for those who, was in the other days, today we'll be focusing on accelerating. So Centec is an organization in Canada that promotes that. And also Louis-Pierre brought Ruben Lopes, who will be with us also sharing some insights. So it'll be a pleasure to have you both here. We are, a small group, but so we might talk after your initial presentation. We open to everybody to put questions here, and they might put in English or even Portuguese, and we're gonna help them. Saying that, please, Louis-Pierre, the floor is yours. Talk a little bit about Centec with our audience.
Thank you so much, Elio. Thank you to all CCBC's team for this invitation. I'm happy to be here. As Elio said, I'm a program director at Centec. My presentation is about Centec, but we may also talk about the innovation ecosystem in Quebec, in Canada. So ask our questions about anything, I would say. I presented myself. I'd like to pass along Ruben Lopez, who's with me, founder and CEO at NanoFacil. I invited Ruben to join me in this event because as a director in an incubator accelerator in Montreal, I have a couple of things to say, of course. But the proof of the pudding is always our startup founders. So that's why I invited Ruben. Thank you, Ruben, for joining us today. Maybe the first question I would ask for you is, can you tell us a little more about yourself, about your entrepreneurial project and journey?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for the invitation, and thank you, Luis Pierre, for the introduction. My name is Ruben Lopez. I'm CEO and founder of NanoFacil. It's a startup in Montreal that focuses on creating tools for accelerating RNA therapy development, like the vaccines that we got from Pfizer and Moderna. Now we can use them for much more, and we help companies to accelerate the process of discovering new ones. My background, I'm an engineer. I'm a mechatronic engineer. I worked for 4 years in the industry of engineering consulting for a German company. And then in 2016, I came to Canada with a dream of using these lipid nanoparticles and dreaming on using science in benefit of patients. I came to do my PhD at the École de Technologie Supérieure. I finished my PhD in 2020, and then I moved to McGill, where I work and doing research in cancer. And at the end of my postdoc, I got this opportunity that it's a program called Lab to Market, in which I was able to go and go out of the lab and try to understand what are the real problems out there in the field in which I was working on. And after a lot of reflection, I said, well, I think I can make a difference, and I can make a greater difference if I go out of the academia. And that's how I decided to fund NanoFacil with a group of people who were also very excited about accelerating RNA therapy development. And in 2023, I incorporated NanoFacil, and I joined Centec in the first program, that is the program Acceleration. And well, we'll talk a little bit more about it, but that's pretty much the story until I joined Centec. Yeah.
Thank you, Ruben, and glad that you're with us today. As I mentioned before, I will present Centec. I will also introduce a couple of questions to Ruben, just for him to share his experience with us and with the whole ecosystem. So that's the plan for today. But first, maybe a little more about Centec. What are we? In fact, we're an incubator affiliated with the École des Technologies Supérieures, which Ruben mentioned, which is a engineering university based in the downtown Montreal. So we are independent from ETS, but a non-profit organization that was founded by École des Technologies Supérieures in 1996. Since 2018, we pivoted our business model and accelerated the way we support entrepreneurs and technological projects. So since then, we have been operating in a particular space, and we launched what we call today our Collision Lab, which is an open innovation hub in adding more to our services in our incubation program, which I will be talking a little more further. We support over 140 companies each year, which make us pretty much the biggest incubator accelerator in Quebec, and one of the most performant in Canada, I would say. So we intervene at the pretty early stage. Usually, we tell people that we are at our greatest place when the technology is pretty much validated, but the business model is not yet defined. So we help conceptualize the business model, and we support the founders through commercialization. So, and we do that by providing a whole ecosystem to propel our entrepreneurs. So that's why in 2023, we were recognized as one of the 10 best university business incubators in the world, according to UBI. We're pretty proud of that. I think it was a great signal for the whole ecosystem here in Canada that we are really focusing on founders, and we are really doing a difference in every day for them. So a couple key figures. Like as I said, we have over 140 companies each year that goes through our walls. Of course, we exist. We've been here in Montreal for almost 30 years. We have an economical development mission. We don't only support like unicorns or companies that are venture backed. We help entrepreneurs even if we, in both cases, that they aim to become a unicorn, but also become SMEs. In any case, we support the entrepreneur him or herself. That's a great pride for us. We have a whole ecosystem, as I said, that we put behind entrepreneurs, over 70 experts in residence and coaches, mentors that are part of our entrepreneurial journey. And the results are talking for themselves. Our companies raised over 700 million in the last 4 years just in capital. So, and of course, being a technological incubator, most of our companies have patents. Intellectual property is key in their development, so we support them towards that as well. We, of course, help a lot of companies in different sectors, but we concentrate, as Ruben mentioned, he is classified under MedTech Digital Health in our industries, but I would say like 30% of our companies usually fall under that particular sector, but we also help whole lots of other sectors like automation, like transport, like edtech, aerospace, energy, telecom, and manufacturing, which are our specialized fields. Ruben talked about this earlier. We have two main programs that incubation programs and acceleration program that we support and that have made us what we are today. It's the first program. I will talk about it a little further along, like the program acceleration program, and our propulsion program. Those are the main two programs that we provide for our startups. But since 2018, we added a branch, which is Centrec's Open Innovation Hub. Collision Lab is just a place where we partner with big corporations and groups that want to go and deal with startups and use startups for R&D projects. So that's a big opportunities for our startups, and I will be talking about that a little further. So that's our main offer. First, we start with the acceleration program. Our three branches are pretty linear. So if you come at Centrec, you start with the acceleration program. What is our acceleration program? It's a 3 months, very intense program in which we ask our startups, a cohort of 40 startups that join our cohorts in the fall and in the winter. So twice a year, 40 companies join us and are with us, not in hybrid, not in virtual, but in presence, 3 days a week with us, working their businesses and validating their project. The main focus of this program is to validate, is there a client ready to pay for the product that aims to be marketed? So that's the main focus. It's probably the program that has made us famous, I would say. We use a lot of the pitch to help entrepreneurs develop and communicate on their project. Today, and I will let Ruben talk about his own experience in acceleration, but usually we are proud to say that our companies, the companies that are supported by Centrec through acceleration program, are the best pitchers. We do that a lot, and we help them by supporting their pitch, build a viable business. So we do that over 50 workshops. Each company gets their own coach, their own entrepreneur in residence. And entrepreneur in residence at Centrec are always entrepreneur in series that have done this 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and that are just there to help new startup founders. This is completely free. It's really a great program to come in Canada sometimes, and often people from France or South America come to us get on board on this program, and it's really a soft landing program, I would say. So that's the first step to join Santec. The second program, in which Ruben was also, is actually today, is our propulsion program, which is more of our commercialization program. The main focus is not to validate the market. Usually we ask the companies that have already validated the market to join us in propulsion. And only 15, in fact, of the 40 that pass through acceleration are admitted in our propulsion program. So what we do there is support the commercialization at the international level. We help them develop the solution with our partnerships with the university, but also with other partners that are there to help the design and the adequation between product and market fit. We help to structure the company through our experts and our partners, like lawyers, fiscalists, finance people. And finally, we help them execute their business model. So those are our two main programs, and in each those two programs are supported by our entrepreneur in residence. They all have been there. So, and Martin Hainaut is our chief entrepreneur in residence. He is one of the lead founder of C2 Montreal, a big event here in Montreal, an internationally known event. We also have other entrepreneur in residence. Please go see their profile. They're so rich. And we have also health sector specialists, in which, and maybe Ruben, you can tell us a little bit more about your experience through those two programs and your experience with François Drolet, which is your entrepreneur in residence and your coach. So that's my question to you, Ruben. I talked like for 5 or 10 minutes, I don't know. You are still supported by Santec. How did this experience contribute to your project, your business to this day?
Well, I think the two programs in which I have been have contributed quite a lot. I will talk first about the acceleration program. As Pierre mentioned, this one helps you to explore and to see if there is actually a market fit for whatever idea you have. And at the same time, and something that helps a lot is that you have people supporting you in helping you or how you communicate that idea. That is huge, and it's very, very important to actually not just have a good idea, but being able to explain that idea to multiple audiences. And for that, I would like to share with you two exercises that we do. I did while I was in that program that's super exciting. The first one is that you need to prepare your pitch, but you don't know to whom you are going to pitch. So then that day, I remember that is when I realized that one of the different personas that I was about to pitch were kids that are less than 12 years old. So imagine that you need to explain your business idea to a bunch of kids, and the trick there is how you keep the attention of those kids that, you know, they are like, and that, I mean, that they are very active, how you keep the attention, and also, more importantly, how you answer the questions that they have. Like as a kid, you know, your creative barriers are unblocked, and the questions that they provided that day were like indeed very, very nice. I remember one kid that said, okay, so you are introducing nanoparticles into the body, but how they go out? So it was like, well, that's a very interesting question. And I mean, and you also pitch in the same day to other different personas like VCs or people in other areas. But what I try to illustrate here is that at this program, you don't know what to expect that day. And I think that prepares you in a way, because in a startup, every single day is different. So in Acceleración, I was trained that you don't know what is about to come, but you need to have certain attitude to go for it. Yeah, that was in Acceleración. And also you have the support of the coaches and everything that helps a lot. The pitch, how you pitch this idea to other people also is extremely important. I had the opportunity to work with one of the entrepreneurs residents, that is François Drolet. He is an executive in pharma. He worked for a lot of years, so he also knows how to manage teams. And I learned a lot from him, not just like the business advice that I received, but also how he deals with other people, how he interacted in the way that he always looks for win-to-win situations when he established relationships. And I think it's something that helped me a lot in my experience. Then I moved to the program Propulsion, and this program is more like a hands-on. You already know that you have a market fit. Now you need to go and try to make those connections, make your technology, or take that technology and take it to the hands of to deliver it to the hands of your potential customers. And that's like, you are like increasing the intensity, and then you go to the next level in the propulsion program. Something that I love about working with Centec is that at the beginning of the program propulsion, you had workshops of things that are important and practical when you are building a business. Yeah, it's very important to have a good market fit, and that helps you the entrepreneur residence. But also I had something that is called the CFO residence. That is a person that in this case is someone, can I disclose the name, Pierre?
Yeah, there's no problem.
Okay.
No
Yeah,
confidentiality.
Okay, well, his name is Luke. Is an amazing person. They say the CFO residence at Centec, and he has, well, I don't know how many decades. For sure, he has more than 4 or 5 decades of experience in accounting and in financial planning and everything. And he helped me to set up the accounting system for the company. So it was set up so well that nowadays, that whenever we need rapidly to know what is the state of results of everything, it's something that has so good foundations, like professional foundations of how it was set, that now it's like basically it's a chip that goes by itself. But this is because he has a lot of experience, and we have access to him. Also, we had opportunities to have networking. When you're building a company, it's a village. It's not just you alone. So you need to connect with a lot of people, and Centec help you to connect with that people, and also it helps you it prepares you to those interactions. Why? Let's go back to the acceleration program. You need to be ready to pitch to everyone. Like if they are experts in your fields, if they are not experts in your field, if they are looking to be a partner or a contributor, or pitching to a lot of times you are pitching also to attract talent to your company. So these experiences in the program helps a ton to be attuned and to know that every day is going to be different. You have the support of the people at Centec, and they're like the mentors, and you come back, and yeah, it's pretty much about it. That's I'm trying just to give a little bit of flavor of what is acceleration and what is propulsion. Yeah.
That's so great, Ruben. And that really illustrates what we aim to do is not give theories about doing the business, but make people dive in on what it is really by experiencing whole different situations every day, whole different people, stakeholders that will be part of your future as an entrepreneur. So thank you for sharing that, and that really resonates with the Centec experience. So I'll have, just before rejoining the discussion with Ruben, couple of facts here. We've been supporting over 700 companies in the past 5 years. Couple of them you can see: Aura Medical, Puzzle Medical, all in medtech. Puzzle Medical raised over $80 million in VC capital. So that just illustrates how good a company. The founder's name is Jade. Jade is an amazing entrepreneur, now being a board member at École des Technologies Supérieures, so at the university that she was a student. Mediação is with us today. Edward is the founder of a solution for logistic and ports. Ports Quebec Sport has been one of the first customer through Collision Lab. So, and today is doing a workshop with our new, he's an alumni from Santec, and he's doing giving back to the new accelerated and propulsed company at Santec. That's the community that we try to engage here in Montreal. So that's just a couple of examples. Last part is Collision Lab. I mentioned a little bit earlier. We, of course, support our companies to get grants and finance, but as you well know, the best financing option for our companies is to get a customer. That's what we teach from day one to all of our journey at Santec. So one of the solutions we found there is to engage with the corporate world. So, and create an open innovation hub, which what we do there is we try to help corporations that are not used in dealing with startups. It's a complicated universe. You know as well as me that corporations can be complicated for startups, and startups can be complicated for corporations. So we try to mitigate those complications by identifying with corporate organization, evaluate and select the best Canadian or sometimes international startup tech for the business. And then we offer a personalized approach to support innovation projects. So sometimes we do like, we have a couple of partners with Thales. We do a yearly challenge since 2018 we do a call for projects for them. And after that, they aim to do a pilot project with one of the selected companies. So we help them to structure the call for project, communicate it, identify and select the companies, the startups that will be part of we also the purchasing of Thales for their needs. So that's just one example, and we do that now for Merck in medical, in pharmaceutical, and we do that with all new companies each year. Some of our latest partners in our Collision Lab is Orano, where we do just scouting. We're scouting for companies under specific needs. Orano shared some specific needs with us, and we try to help them. So that's one business model that we incorporated in Santec in the latest years. I have to talk about Axé. Axé is a new hub that just launched last week. Okay, it's a 1,000 square foot of space in which all main incubators in Quebec and in Montreal will be. And we have also over 50 startup offices. We have financing partners. We have other people. I think CCBC, Viviane is here with us today. I think she's trying to get the office spaces there. Everybody's going to be there. So the main principle at Santec is get people together, get innovators together that will create innovation. And that's what the Axé is going to be. We are moving our whole operation there to join Axé in a couple of days. And other incubators, over 12 incubators will be there with us. So as you can imagine, Montreal innovation system is really open. Like we share insights, we collaborate with startup founders like Ruben. So they get a little higher, they get better opportunities, they get better clients. So it's not a competition with other incubators, because I'm here today as a Santec representative, of course, but as I said at the beginning of the presentation, we can talk about the whole ecosystem. We talk with our colleagues in other incubators. We talk with other organisms. Why? Because our mission is just to help startup, not to protect our organization. So I think it's a perfect example of how we do things here in Canada, here in Quebec, here in Montreal. That's already it for my presentation. I have a couple of questions that will be a perfect segue, in fact, for the presentation I just finished, I think. And maybe the audience can raise their hands and ask questions also. But I would ask one question to Ruben before doing so. I talked a little bit about the Montreal or Quebec's entrepreneurial ecosystem. How do you see it, Ruben, on your side? I think you were already collaborating with V1 Studio, another incubator. You talked about other programs. How do you see Montreal's ecosystem?
Well, one of the reasons that I came to Montreal in 2016 was first to do my PhD, but also because it was this ecosystem already in the works, 2016, probably a little bit before. I remember I used to read this, that they have these missions, Quebec missions that go to different countries, and I had the opportunity to talk with a few people there, universities, and also universities, and also I remember that at the time was an organization called Montreal in Vivo that is very important for biotech companies in Montreal. So they were talking about that they will create a big hub for biotech companies, for medtech companies, and all this. And that was the first thing that attracted to me. And then when I just plunged into actually being in Montreal, I figured out that there were multiple organizations supporting the creation of new companies. That's one of the reason. The third reason also is like the society in Quebec, here in Montreal, it's very open and welcome to people who actually want to like work hard and then create something new. I think the society in general here is very they consider innovation like as something important, and I think innovation and this innovation in arts, in science, in business, and that's why the reason that I came here in the first place. And as Louis-Pierre mentioned, there are other organizations also that are they are already there in the space axis that help new companies to support them. And the reason why they might be different ones is because each one has its own purpose and mission. I know about the ones that are like very focused on, like, let's say, sustainable business, or others that are very focused on social innovation. Like that means like creating non-profits. So there is a taste here and there. The one that Louis-Pierre mentioned was like a V1 focus on science-based startups. And I worked with them. They were our first investors. And I think that was a very good match in between what I was doing at Centec, that is more focused on it's focused a lot in creating the business and getting the market fit, and V1 Studio that provided with this scientific part, access to certain type of facilities that I needed for doing the research. So bottom line, what I want to say is that it's a very open ecosystem. It's a ecosystem in which you can create your own journey depending on what is the nature of your business, and also depending on what people you would like to interact with. Here in Quebec, the things are done in a way that is very collaborative. Even like companies we are in the same like, let's say, niche that is not more like a medtech biotech. We exchange tips. We exchange tips of how we can get funding, which potential investors might be interested in you, where to find customers, where to find the talent. So it's I think something that I love about the ecosystem in Quebec is that very cooperative and very we will help each other. And I think it's also a reflection of the Quebec society as a whole, that we are a society that we help each other to to advance in life, and in this case in business. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is a result of we are a society. We are French-based province in Canada. We are 9 millions. That is a small market for our startups. In fact, it's usually too small for them to go to market as a viable company. Usually, studies show that under 50 million interior market, 50 million people as an interior market is too small of a market for tech companies to really grow. They have to go international as they are born, or as they like. Our market is pretty much a pilot project market. Like you can test, you can experiment in Quebec and Canada, but your real nature is to go international. Probably in medtech, usually the US is a good market. Nowadays, it's a question, I would say, but still is a good market. But you are, as a startup, you are born and you have to go international pretty early.
Oh, it's
So
amazing. It's amazing, Luis. Thank you a lot for the information, and Ruben for your journey here in Quebec. As an entrepreneur here in Ontario, because I'm here in Canada as well, I know how is sometimes difficult for you find information, you know, how to choose the best acceleration program or ecosystem do you want to join or something. But I think for we clarify a little bit for our audience and for our startups that we have here from Brazil, I don't want to say from by myself, okay? I want to hear from you guys, Ruben and Louis, please. How can founders developing intercultural skills to better engage with the Canadian innovation system? Because it's a little different. I participated here in Canada in 2 programs, one from Spark Center and another one from the DMZ inside the TMU, okay? And in Brazil, more than 5 programs, but I know it's totally different. So if you can pass to the people that hear us, why the founders have to develop, you know? What skills will be better for these guys? Please, I will appreciate that.
Ruben, do you want to take it? I would love to hear your experience. You come from Mexico. Yeah, maybe go first.
Okay. Well, I think in terms of as an entrepreneur, something that I always have liked is do impactful work, like a business that is not just a business for existing, but also something that can give back to the community in a way. In our case, we focus on accelerating next generation therapies. And the second one is creating meaningful relationships with the people who are in the ecosystem. And I think a lot of that comes with listening a lot, understanding the other people way of thinking, understanding also where they come from in terms of there are certain particularities for each region in Canada, and I think it's important to understand the history of how that society in particular was built. Like for example, here in Quebec, there is a nation within a nation, I would say. So there is there has other particularities. Like for example, that what I'm mentioning that this collaborative and we share everything. It's very, I would say, very from Quebec. Like for example, like even neighbors in the communities. I live on Plateau. We have our own like a small backyard, and then we cultivate together. You know, you do things, a lot of things together. So I think it's important to be open to get immersed in the society in which you are, and try to learn what is important for the society that is welcoming you, and experience the whole not just like the business interaction, but also the culture,
the whole
everything,
package,
the whole package that it comes with it. And I think that helps a lot on having better relationships, because they're based on understanding the other people, the people that are welcoming you in the society. And I think that's quite important to listen, to try to do like the similar activities. Like for example, here when it's summer, we're the champions of picnics and having activities in the park. So that's like, you know, trying to enjoy also that parts of the society that they are they're less obvious, but they're important and there. And it's, I think, how you can interact and connect with people. And then when you have a little bit more of trust, they can start telling you a little bit more of things like, well, here we do things in this way or that way. And yeah, but I don't know, Luis Pierre, what is your take on this?
I think you have a lot of great points to adapt to any culture, I would say. Yes, you're talking about Quebec or Canadian culture, but in any culture, you have to dive in and like observe the differences and try to connect with people. That's the whole key there. But for any entrepreneur that wants to go abroad, I would say the reason why the person wants to go abroad has to be clear. The clarity is important here. Why do you want to go there? Is it based on personal reason? Is it based on business reasons? Do you aim do you target a specific market as a startup? And is it the best way to go to that market, to go in Montreal? Do you want to benefit some grants, some fiscal advantages? What are you seeking for when you go there? Because going international is so expensive, it's so demanding, and as a startup, as a company, you get limited resources. So the clarity has to be there at first. The why has to be really, really clear for you, for your team, because the mistakes are really expensive. If you go to a new market, you have to adapt, you have to understand things, you're gonna make mistakes. And you have to accept that. Mistakes are gonna be done. You're not gonna have everything right at the first time. So if for a Brazilian company, startup or SME or someone more experienced, less experienced, I think the clarity is the key here.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for the explanation. Elio, do you have something
Hello.
to? Oh, sorry.
Just as we are talking to Brazilian startups, I'd like to understand the criteria to select some company to be in the program first in acceleration, and after that for the propulsion. As you said, you have, you know, the purpose is really important because of the research you're going to invest. So when we are trying to go there, and what are the analyses that are made to accept someone and to be with you?
Yeah, that's such a good question, because we are not doing a whole lot different than other incubators, but key criteria, clarity in those criteria is important. So for our first program, acceleration, it's like a boot camp. We in those 3 months we learn about the founders and their projects. So we are less narrow in our criteria. We want to see, well, technology and innovation has to be seen. It's not only a service company. We are not an incubator for service for just if people sells billing hours. We don't do that. You can finance your growth through service, but it can't be your goal to get with us, to get in our incubation organization. So that's the first thing. Innovation. Is there a technology? Is there a market? Or is it something that is already pretty saturated? Is the competency and the motivation good? Like, is it the good team and is the team motivated to go through all the hardship that's going to come to you? Entrepreneurship is hard, you know, so we try to evaluate the resilience, in fact, at first. But we are a lot looser in accepting those companies through those criteria in our acceleration program. We want to welcome like 40 companies. That's a whole bunch. That's a good cohort. We just finished a call for project. We usually get 100 candidates for our cohort. So that's what we got like 2 days ago, 100 candidates. For our second program, now we want to see, we ask our judge, because we have a jury composed of 20, 25 members, mainly external people, experts in their fields. So we ask the jury 4 questions. We ask, can we see that commercialization is ahead? They're not validating the market. The commercialization path is clear. All right. So that's the first question that we evaluate the businesses on. The second question is, okay, the market being validated, is there a real innovation, or is the business model innovating? No, that's the second question, because if it's just replicating that's something that already exists, well, the market will be really hard to go to. The third question is there the competency, the motivation, as I said, but really a deep dive on this aspect of the project. The final criteria is, does it make sense as a whole? Because is the pitch, because we evaluate those companies based on a 5-minute pitch and some questions that follow up. So as a story, like the pitcher, the startup founder pitches bundles of information, does it make sense as a whole? Is there a quality project under that pitch? So that's the 4 criteria that we evaluate and ask our jury members.
And for this second phase, there are also in the first phase, you don't have fees, and for the second phase, there are fees to become in the program.
Yeah. We're based on a membership, so it's a 300 fee per month. We don't take any equity, so there's no percentage to be seized to Santec. But we're mainly subsidized. It costs a lot more than 300 a month per company to operate for us at Santec. But we have a $300 fee. The first program, as you mentioned, Helio, is completely free. The 3 months program is free, but after that, we ask them a $300 fee.
Thank you. I think we have Victor to make a question, but before his question, I want to just make sure all the programs will be in French.
That's a great question. Yeah, the programs are dispensed, like the workshop are usually in French. The material is in French. But of course, if you're not French speaking, we all understand English. So your coach can communicate only in English. That's fine. The only thing is we won't translate the material for you. You have, well, with AI today and translation app, you can do everything. So, and it's a pretty good way, we found by experience, to integrate Quebec society. French is really everywhere. It's better if you learn French. I think, Ruben, it was your case. You didn't speak French before coming to Montreal, and you learned it through your experience. Am I mistaken?
No, that's right. I came. I didn't take any French courses before. I went through the Francisation here in Montreal, and then I was able to understand French, and then I continue and then I think the language, it comes a little bit more when you practice it more. So when I was at Centec, I practiced it more because I was listening all the time. I pitch most of the time in English, but I pitch also in French. So I think the pitch part it's okay for obviously for all the workshops. It's important that you understand French because it's going to be in French, and also the questions you can ask them in French. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, Vitor, come on.
Hi there. Firstly, thank you for this presentation and for the organization of this event. I am founder on a well-being startup. We are building a platform where companies can identify and monitor psychosocial risks in the workplace, and we deliver adaptive habit formation journeys for personal well-being and clear action plans for organizational culture improvement. So it's a science-based organizational resilience system, yet we don't integrate, at least for now, with wearables and etc. So my question is regarding deep tech. Would you find any project that is considered deep tech that doesn't build or integrate to physical products? Because I'm trying to understand if we can position ourselves as deep tech or we need to integrate to something physical.
Deep tech
How do you
is
see
not
that?
like that's a good question. The deep tech, as we define it, is not necessarily hard tech. No, there's no need for your business to be based on a hardware. It's more like, is there something, a science underneath? How is the technology developed? Is there something to be built? That's the main question we will ask. Like, do you just connect with API with ChatGPT? That won't pass here. But if you're building something with AI that it needs like a deep technology knowledge and build up a deep technology structure, that will be considered deep tech for us.
We apply a lot of behavioral science and neuroscience-based techniques to form those journeys in the platform, but we don't tell this to the user. Now you are executing this neuroscience-based technique. It's just inside the platform. So that's my question, because we don't make it very clear on our communication, like we are a science-based platform. We are more focused on the value proposition itself when we talk about the product. And I would like to understand if we try to reach the program, we'll have to position the platform as focusing on the science part, right?
Well, you may be questioned. No, the short answer is no. What will be evaluated first is the market opportunity and the market fit. Okay, so our expertise is in the tech. Our goal is to build businesses that works, that are viable, and that we accept people and companies that aims to do that. So and you're evaluated, and we usually ask for you to communicate what's your goal, what do you want to build. So, and after that, we may ask question, okay, what's underneath the engine? What's underneath? That's where we're gonna engage a discussion with you, but that's not the first thing that comes in the communication.
That's it.
Is like a secondary question, I would say.
Thank you.
Thanks to you.
I think we have a note here in our chat here from Patricia. Thank you, Patricia. And Patricia said that since Quebec has its own rules and taxes, is that something that could complicate the expansion in other Canadian provinces? Can we talk about a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm not a fiscalist, and I'm not an accounting expert. I will use Ruben experience, though. In my view, the short answer is no. Of course, there will be challenges if you like. It's always a business. It should be a business decision. There are a lot more grants in Quebec than anywhere else in Canada. Okay, that's the first advantage. Of course, after that, you are usually a little more taxed when comes when profit comes. So that you can evaluate where you open business places. You can have a business place in Quebec, but another one in Ontario, in other provinces. You may even have one, I'm sure it's in your plan, Ruben, to have one in US if you aim the US market. Being in Quebec doesn't stop you from doing that. Those questions comes as you grow, as the business project gets clearer. So I wouldn't say like at first it is not a barrier or anything, that it doesn't complicate anything to start. After that, complication comes,
Okay, sure.
but that's just natural path. Ruben, I don't know if you want to complete me on that particular topic.
Well, I think same comment, Luis Pierre. Pardon. I'm not like a fiscalist, but I can share a little bit of the experience as a company. It's difficult to know, no, because the tax environment that I have interacted with has been just the Quebec one. But I agree, you have to have a reason for you to be here, and then the other parts might fall just naturally. In terms of because the NanoFacil is a company that does a lot of R&D, Quebec is the best place, if not in the world, at least in Canada, to do that research and development, because the government of Quebec invests a lot in that research and development in different ways. It invests as providing like direct incentives to the companies, or by providing tax incentives to the companies, to the point in which it makes sense for a lot of companies that I have talked with, that they have the R&D in Quebec, in Montreal, and then they have other operations, I don't know, in US. If they manufacture in US, but they keep the R&D in Montreal. And yeah, it depends on the industry. For us, makes a lot of sense, because also the talent, you have 4 universities here, a very high level university. So the talent of if you need researchers or people who are working in the state of the art, the technology, Montreal is a good hub in terms of talent, in terms of tax incentives, and in terms of that I would say that's the basically, and in terms of what also the government is investing in. And
it just made me think, Ruben, if you guys allow me, usually startup founders are looking for 4 things, and they're looking for a customer. Okay, is there a customer ahead? So we are a good entry for the American market, So Montreal, as you said, Ruben, is a good entry, and usually especially if you're R&D intensive at your first stages. Is there a financing? You have to access. The second thing is you have to access dollars. Like you need money to grow. You need money, and usually Montreal, Quebec, Canada, there is a whole lot of VCs. There are grants. There are a lot of financing opportunities for your businesses. You need talent. Well, of course, with all of our university, there's a lot of talent in lots of fields in Montreal, in Quebec in general. And finally, a startup founder would need infrastructure. Like for your R&D, you need labs, you need manufacturing capacities, you need things like that. So those 4 angles are to be looked at when you want to get that clarity. Where do I go? Where do I see my business? Where do I go next? So is there a customer? Is there financing opportunities? Is there infrastructure? Is there talent? Well, we are pretty lucky in Montreal. We get pretty much all of those 4s. So that's really nice for us.
Thank you for the answer. And Patricia, as well, say thank you for the answers. Eddie, do you have any question?
Yeah. I have one question regarding this matter of the market. Obviously, U.S. market is, a huge market. It's great for everybody. But when you are talking about Brazilian startup, maybe the Brazilian market is also huge as well, and we have a lot of needs for biotechs and health tech and med techs and all of those. How does it work you need to incorporate in Canada, or you might develop your startup, you incorporate abroad or sell to Brazil, or how does it internationalization works?
What we usually, I will not talk as an expert, but I will base my answer on my experience. My experience is it all depends. It depends on the industry you're in. It depends on your personal situation as a startup founder. But usually, in the first stages of your startup, it's better to go where you get the four things I just mentioned, just to get enough autonomy as a business to go in another market. To build your business model, to get clarity on the customers, and after that you can move. As a startup, you're agile, so you go where the market is. So to benefit the grants, the incentive, as Ruben mentioned, in Canada, you have to be Canada-based. Usually, there's someone in the founders that should be in Canada to benefit those advantages. After that, when you get those, those benefits are behind, maybe you have another business decision to make. You have, okay, your customer is in the US, your customer is in Brazil. Do you move, or do you just open a new business place? Where will be your corporate home? Like, will it be in Canada? So we have support. We provide support at Centec to get clarity on those questions. We have fiscalists, we have lawyers that will help you get the good decision for your specific needs under that.
When you mention about accountants and lawyers that are going to help, and financial as well, are those part of the program when you're the membership of 300 that you mentioned?
Yeah, they are. We contractualize with, I would say, big lawyers big firms, and they give us hours. They give startup hours just to help them. Have a meeting about 1 hour, 2 hours, 3, just to what's your problem? Can I get a clear view of that? I can help you on that side, and that side, and that side. So yeah, we provide those services through our programs. At first free, I would say. After that, of course, if a big project results from those meetings, the lawyer firm will help you with small fees, I would say.
Oh, great. We are waiting for any more questions, but I have one matter that you already mentioned about finance. That's the investment rounds. I'd like to go deep on there are VCs, how is this ecosystems? Maybe Ruben as well might talk a little bit. I don't know exactly in the phase that you are in this right moment, but it's, are those steps that a startup should make to go through the initial barrier to have the market and so on, and customers. So how does it work to be in contact with investors, and Centec help them to talk with investors? How does it work to obtain this finance?
Maybe go ahead, Ruben. I was suggesting you go ahead.
It's better.
Yeah. So I in terms of connections, Centec offers multiple opportunities for connecting with VCs. There are a lot of networking events in which you can assist, and then for companies that are actually raising, like the ones that they already have gone through the screening at Centec, and we also have how do you call it? I'm trying to translate the role that Patrick does too. Is like the investor in residence, if I translate correctly. Yeah. So it's someone who is himself an investor that can help you to prepare. So when you have those conversations, you are investor ready, or you have a clear strategy when you are having those conversations. It's up to the startups to like Centec makes the first connections, and it's up to the startups to create that relationship, because normally when you connect with VCs is not when you need the money. At the beginning, you might need more advice of how to steer the company, and they have a lot of knowledge about it. And then when the time comes, they already know your story, and then you can just invite them to invest, because bottom line, what you are offering is like an opportunity for them to increase their money and then their capital. But yeah, I through Centec, I have got good connections in which I can start those conversations, and then you keep the conversation going. They like, as I said, like the investor in residence provide you with advice of, well, what type of conversations you should have, how you package your company also, because bottom line, you sell your product, but also your company is a complete product that you need to sell to investors. So at this point, I'm in this process in which I'm establishing those relationships. Yeah.
Thank you. Do you have something to complement, Louis, or no?
Well, I would say, yeah, we provide also like a couple of events every year, like demo day. So we invite the whole community, the whole investing community, VCs, of course, but not only VCs. Other type of investors are invited there. We have one upcoming. We do it with 3 other incubators. So we join forces with other incubators, and we ask our companies, like, which one of you are raising money. So we target people that are really at this phase. So it really focuses the efforts of everyone. Like it focuses our company's efforts. Those that are not raising, well, we leave them alone. Like they continue working the product. They may be raised in the last year. They don't need more money. Those who wants to raise are there, and it's the same thing for investors. So they're here and they're ready to match. They're ready to mingle with those companies that are looking for new capital. So that's another that's a compliment to Ruben's work. Yeah, of course we do that individually, but we try to gather people around specific events also.
Nice. I can say here in Ontario is usually the same, have some boot days or something that is usual. You go, a lot of venture capitals, angel investors and everything, and you can pitch, you can talk, you can have a relation. This is amazing. And we have another question from Claudio. Is there a database with market information and about the needs of technological solutions that companies may have, something like open innovation or something?
That's such a good question. The shortest answer is no, but there should be. I know actually a new organization has born in Quebec. It's called Quebec Tech. It's in its mission to first try to go around regions in Quebec to gather information about more mature companies, SMEs, but bigger SMEs, to adopt startups. So it's called Tournée des Régions, so region. It's a visit of all the regions in Quebec, and trying to convince and create events and organize meetings between startup founders and deciders, got people that are ready to innovate through startups. So that's the first thing. What we have as a open innovation service hub is we ask our startups to go in the data bases that exist, PitchBook, Crunchbase. I just shared it on the chat, Deal Room, CV Insights, So sometimes we have two people in our team that are scouting for corporations. Like they are scouting for companies. They scout for our own companies, the one that we support, but they also go elsewhere. Like sometimes one of our customer, like from aerospace, is looking for specific need, and you got to be well referred, well documented in those startup. As a startup, you got to be visible, you got to be seen. So one of the best way to do that is through those existing databases. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. And I saw that you put some information here in the chat. Thank you. Thank you, Louis.
Yeah, PitchBook, Crunchbase, CB Insights, they are all great places for your startup to be. You got to be referenced there and make sure that your info, the info on your startup and your product has to be updated quite often.
Nice. Thank you. Any more consideration, Helio?
I'd like to know if not Brazilian, but if you have any success case of Latin American entrepreneurs that already work with you.
Yeah, you mean bigger companies, or you mean startup founders?
Startups,
founders.
I think you
Startup
founders,
yeah. For someone who in Brazil are aiming to go to Canada, what are their example he could look?
Yeah, I think well, it's not Latin America, well, it's not South America, but Ruben comes from Mexico, as we said before. We have other and we have a Colombian origin, someone from Colombia that joined us last year. A lot of people comes from also North Africa. The main barrier here being the language, of course, if you join Santec, you gotta at least understand a little bit of French. So that would be the main barrier. But we have a couple of existing examples that someone who speaks English go through the Francision program. Usually in a 6 months time, they can join us. It's sufficient for them to join an organization like Santec. So one of our founders is Ronaldo. He comes from Colombia, as I said. Came from Colombia, but usually it's through university programs. It's easier for founders to come in Quebec. Actually, even more nowadays. Visas are a little harder to get in those times, but universities can facilitate that.
Perfect. Thank you, Lee, for your answer. So, guys, I think if you have one more question, will be probably a pleasure to Louis or Rubens answer you guys, because we are reached 10 minutes to finish this call. Let's see if you have one more question. I don't think.
Nobody has. I have one.
Yeah. Okay, the last one. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Elliot.
Regarding this connection with big companies, how does it work? The big companies you have in ecosystem, you mentioned in your presentation, they have needs, or how this approximation you do, how does it work?
Sometimes we usually meet those big companies, like our sales is done usually through big events. Like we have a couple of big companies in aerospace. So when we meet those executive level people, like we tell them, okay, how are you doing innovation? Can startups join your efforts? Is there a good way for startups to help you innovate more in even faster way? Because the problem usually in those corporations is time. It gets a lot of time, lots of resource to get the same result a startup can do in 6 months, 1 year. maybe it can go to 5 years to a big corporation. So that's the pain point we try to address. So usually that's the first contact. After that, we get a meeting. And for the startup, it can be opportunities come a little later when we discover needs in the big companies. And we usually offer 3 kinds of services. One is scouting. So we use, the corporation use our scouting services. Okay. So that's the first thing. That's why I'm suggesting so hard to be sure that to reference your startup in the databases that I shared. So that's the first service we offer. The second service is, can we do a call for project through challenges? We design challenges with the company needs, and we do a call. So it's a communication program in which we call for project for startups to candidate, and after that we analyze them with the client, with the corporation. And the third way to help corporation to put open evaluation that works for us is in building programs. We build specific programs for after. So we do a call for projects. We select startups, and after that we coach them and help them to get in the business of the corporation that we support there. So that's what we do. We did with Merck lately. Merck is financing those 5 startups in our actual program that we designed with them, and they are putting 100K safe to 5 companies, and after that they get workshops, they get support from coaches. And Merck doesn't even aim to do a pilot project. They just want to build a strong ecosystem in their field. So that's something that we see even more nowadays. So that's how actually we do businesses, the business in our open innovation hub. So for startups, it's more opportunities. Of course, for us, it's also a good way to build relationship with those companies and make sure that they are mature in doing business with startups.
Nice, really nice. Thank you so much, Luis and Rubens, for being here with us to share this precious information to our startups from Brazil here. And we really appreciate that we can see this relationship with Canada and Brazil make more strong, and for sure this happened because CCBC and because you guys to give your time to share all this information. Okay, so I can not leave this meeting and forget to say a big thank you for your sponsors. Okay, so I will speak a little in Portuguese. So, primeiro para a ABS, Associação Brasileira das Empresas de Software, para o PIT, o Parque de Inovação e Tecnologia de São José dos Campos, o IPT, o Instituto de Pesquisa Tecnológica, a Universidade Fevale, a Fevale Tech Park, e o Sebrae for Startups. So, thank you so much for sponsors this long journey. We are in the 4th day, and tomorrow will be the last one. So, guys, be attention. Don't lose your last day tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll talk in Portuguese again. So we start in Portuguese on Monday, and tomorrow we will talk in Portuguese again. So one more time, Luis and Rubens, thank you so much. And Rubens, congratulations for your journey in Quebec, in Canada. It's really nice to see entrepreneurs win this journey. Well, I know this is really hard. It's really, really hard. I move with my family, my kids, my wife. So it's not just a business, it's everything in the same time. So congratulations for your journey. And Luis, thank you again. And congratulations for you to direct all this program inside this incubator. Okay. Thank you so much. Elio, do you want to say something?
Just to thank you, Luis and Ruben, to be here with us, sharing their time with our Brazilian startups and with CCBC. Thank you very much.
Okay. Rubens, Hélio, Louis, if you want to say the last few words for startups, come on.
I will go. Thank you so much for the invitation, guys. It was a real pleasure sharing with you. If you have other questions, don't hesitate to reach us. We're there for companies. We're there for entrepreneurs. It's always a pleasure to meet and discuss. So let's contact. Thank you, Ruben. I'll leave you the last word, Ruben.
Come on, Rubens.
What a pleasure. Thank you very much for the invitation also. And if I can help with anything, please feel free to reach out. As Marcelo mentioned, it's a journey that might not be easy, but it's very rewarding. And more if you find the right people to walk. And for the entrepreneurs, or if you are thinking of it, it's a good journey. It's not an easy one, but I will encourage you to go for it. Yeah.
I agree with you, Ruben. Thanks again. And guys, don't forget, tomorrow we'll be here at the same time, at the same channel. So thank you again for joining us here. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. All right.
Bye,
Cheers.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.